Good evening. This is Rudy Giuliani, and this is the Rudy Giuliani Show, live from, thank God, from Dover, New Hampshire. And with me is my partner, Ted Goodman, who, of course, does the show every night from usually behind the roadcaster and all those things over there that Stephen is doing. But he's here because, I don't know, did you know that we had an accident? Everybody else seems to know it, so we assume that you do. But we had an accident, which is the reason we couldn't go on live last night. I was still recovering. And we thought we would tell you the story of the accident. We have not told it yet, except to the police. So you'll be the first to hear it. So we don't have to go over it 100 times. And then, of course, we'll repeat some of it on the 8 o'clock show for those who only can watch that show. So how are you feeling?
Mayor, first of all, everyone wants to know how you're feeling. I'm feeling great.
Oh, I'm feeling okay. I'm recovering. I mean, if I say I'm feeling fine, of course, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be having this thing on.
Right.
See? And I'm not going out to play football. That is my brace that holds my back together and that helps to fuse together the part that's fractured or broken, however you want to look at it. So I'm feeling like I'm recovering as the doctor predicted. Every single thing that he predicted so far has happened in the time order that it happened. So I think within whatever it was, 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be completely recovered. I'll be wearing this for maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3. I don't have to wear it all the time. I have to wear it largely when I'm sitting up or moving. If I'm laying down, I don't have to wear it. So on Saturday night, Ted and I organized with Dr. Maria and some members of her family and some friends of his. We were all going to go to a couple of baseball games. We can go to the minor league game on Saturday night and the Red Sox game on Sunday. And one of the reasons is that Ted has never seen Fenway, right?
That's right. Never been to Fenway Park.
And Fenway was Maria's home as a youngster. She was a very big baseball fan. She went there with her father. She went there with her sons. And she always wanted him to see it. I've wanted him to see it because I think it's the most unusual ballpark in baseball. Not necessarily the most important. You know what that is.
Yeah, I have a feeling you have a different answer for that one. Yeah.
But in any event, we got tickets. Maria's brother has season tickets at Fisher
Manchester Fisher Cats.
Manchester Fisher Cats Stadium. And we went there and we watched them
they were playing the Tigers, one of the Tigers minor league teams.
The Tigers minor league AA teams.
Erie.
And we decided to leave around the 7th inning because the game was a bit of a blowout, and we had to get up very early to get to Boston the next morning. So we left them there. Our friends, just Ted and I, headed off. Dover is about a 40-minute ride from Manchester, and we started driving. And we got no more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would say right?
10 minutes from the Manchester Stadium. And we maybe remember this a little differently. So I'm going to have him fill it in after I fill it in, and in stages. First thing that I saw was a woman with a white something, could have been a shawl, wasn't a handkerchief, it was bigger than that, could have been a sweater, and she was waving it in distress. I didn't know what the distress was, but I said, Ted was driving. I said, Ted, stop the car, pull over. Let's see if we can help her. Then we saw the car, we pulled over, and then she started talking. So let me have Ted bring us up to date as to what you saw at that point. And she came up to the car. So now we're at that point.
Right. And it's dark at this point. It's after dark. We're coming down 93 South. It's an interstate, I believe more than 2 lanes, but at least 2 lanes, right? Maybe even more at this stretch of highway.
Certainly 2 lanes on our side and 2 lanes across the grass on the other side.
And we're coming up. What I specifically remember is a car slowing down in front of us and cars just kind of slowing down. And then seeing as we're coming down off to our right, 2 individuals and a car pulled over to the side of the road. At least one of the individuals, maybe both, kind of waving like this at cars to stop. And clearly the first detail I see is that this is a woman clearly in distress, flagging cars down. But I also specifically remember, I believe, is a car in front of us slowing down, them approaching that car, and then that car listening what they're saying and then kind of taking off. Not like taking off fast, but kind of continuing on. So we pull up. What I remember is this woman coming to the mayor's side of the passenger side door window, a woman and another individual. At that time, I couldn't say for sure whether it was a man or a woman, but that other individual had a camera, what I believe was the light from a cell phone. Maybe it was a flashlight, but a light shining, so you can't see around this individual, specifically their hands, right, or anything. You can see the woman; she's clearly in distress, and so. Do you want to then go from there, and then I'll pick up
what you saw in back of her, and it could be 5 feet, it could be 10 feet, couldn't be much more than 15. That would be max behind her. But you couldn't see his face because the light. He had the light. It appeared to be in front of his face. Now, whether that was on purpose or not, it looked like
shining. He was holding it up, and shining it at us,
like here, and shining at us, so you couldn't see his face. You could see a teeny outline of his body, but you couldn't see his face. And again, you couldn't tell what was a male or female. I don't know. Before she said anything, I somehow assumed it was a male. Don't know if I saw it or I assumed it. She said, and this I don't remember exactly the words, but here's the sum or substance. She said, "I'm in trouble. I'm in real trouble. Can I get in your car? He's abusing me, or he's hitting me, or he's attacking me," words like that. And I said to her, first I said yes, and then Ted grabbed my arm sort of, and we said, "No, what we'll do is you stay here, and we will pull up a little, and we'll call the police." To which she did not object. In fact, she disappeared. She just disappeared on us. Before we pulled away, she walked toward him, right?
Okay.
Well, you go ahead.
Yeah. What I recall at this point is, first off, alarm bells go off. But, this is America's mayor. This is a man that if he sees someone in need on the side of the road at night, especially a woman, he's not going to keep going. He's going to stop.
No chance in a million years, without any doubt, we're not leaving.
And I'd like to say I have the same inclination. But certainly together we weren't going to just drive by, and so we stop. But my red flags go up immediately when this light of this other individual shined in the car. Right, I can't see his or her hands. This woman is saying, "I need," At first, you don't know if it's just like a blown tire or something, right? But immediately, this woman is clearly in distress, right? So we know right away it's not like a blown tire.
She was abused.
Yes,
she was being abused.
It was very clear. Whatever, and I, like the mayor, can't recall the exact words, but I'm abused. I need to get away from this man. I can't be near him. Can I get in your car? At one point, I quickly I am uncomfortable with the situation. We're both in agreement that we got to really assess this. I don't recall being there more than 20 to 30 seconds because of the fact that there's a flashlight. I know we're putting ourselves in danger. We got to do something at this point. And so we start, I tell her, stay there. And we drive ahead a little bit. I would say 200 feet at first, maybe. And we pull over there. This car is behind us now a few hundred feet. I couldn't stay there with that light being shined into our window. We can't see the hands of this individual, right? You hear this all the time, especially nowadays. Ambushes, robberies, people, you don't stop, right? I wouldn't recommend anyone alone necessarily to stop unless you're a trained professional or really have the situation, full control of the situation. And so the mayor and I go ahead. We're not leaving though, right? The mayor's, we got to stop. We got to call 911. We're not leaving. We're not letting this car out of our sight. This woman was clearly in distress, and we don't know about the other individual. However, you're in potential immediate harm in that situation, but we're not backing down. So we pull off to the side of the road a few hundred feet ahead. We call 911. Mayor, maybe you take over from this a little bit, and we'll.
I recall it as being with her a little bit longer than what would you say, 2 minutes? You said 2 minutes?
I said 20 to 30 seconds.
No, I would say, to me, it seemed more like about 4 or 5 minutes. I believe she repeated the story slightly differently 3 times. It was a form of, one time she said abuse, Another time she said she was afraid of him. Another time she said he was hitting her. She interspersed those into the conversation. She did not look injured. I looked at her very, very carefully. I mean, right away, I saw no injuries on her, no scars, no injuries. She didn't seem particularly panicked, I have to say. She was saying it in the tone of voice I just said it to you, not like, well, for example, not like the woman who hit us later who was in a panic.
Yes.
Right? Correct.
Yeah, correct.
They're just making that distinction.
She wasn't in a panic. She was clearly distressed.
She was clearly distressed, but she was under control.
Yes.
Able to express herself, able to, which again, is counter to, is she telling us the truth or not? And again, no injuries. She wasn't disheveled. She wasn't scarred. She wasn't. Now, the police officers said, well, we'll tell you that later.
Yeah.
Police officers.
Yeah.
So we pulled ahead.
Yep.
I don't know exactly how much. Ted could be 100 feet. It can't be much more than 120, 130, because we could see back, although
it was dark,
obscured somewhat by the lights.
Well,
but we could still see back.
Right. The picture you see on screen right now, that's the only picture I have from that night. And that's at the end, but that's at the end of this interaction with the domestic.
And we had gotten a little closer at that
and we had backed up on the shoulder. We had backed up to get closer because we were on the phone with 911 for 20 minutes. And the mayor and I are still thinking, there's a potential.
We called, the call got through at 8:58.
Right.
And it ended at 9:17. It was 19 minutes and 25 seconds.
Right.
911, because we wanted to stay on until the car actually got there.
And during this 19 minutes, right, there is a potential something happening behind us. Who knows what, right? A woman in distress, another person. Every second counts.
And we were trying to rush them.
But we have to think of our own safety. I have to think of the mayor's safety. And so we back up. We're like, all right, well, we got to get closer.
No,
we kept slowly backing up.
Once we got 911, in order to be able to hear what was going on, in case, God forbid, he was attacking her again.
Yeah.
We backed. We had our windows open. We backed up. And we ended up, as you can see, pretty close.
Right.
By the time we were.
The headlights you see in that picture is I believe is the car of the original car of the two individuals who had flagged us down. And where right in the near in the front of the picture, you see our back tail light.
And the 911 operator is giving us updates on when the police officer is going to arrive, or police officers.
Yeah. But these are 19 minutes where we don't know what's happening behind us, and we want to make sure that at the time we want to make sure this woman's safe, right?
So within that period,
we back up.
Probably toward the end part of the period, she surprisingly comes over to the car. But now to Ted's side of the car.
Yes.
Now, remember, that's the traffic side of the car,
yes.
the dangerous side of the car.
Yes.
Immediately, we're worried she's going to get hit by the car. And we try to urge her, maybe before she's done, and they come around to the other side of the car.
Absolutely, we did.
She does not do that. She seems like she heard it, but she didn't do it. And the first thing she said was, "Can you give me your cell phone?"
That was what she asked. I need your phone.
Said no.
Yeah, absolutely not. We're not giving.
And I said to her, "Why?"
Yeah.
And she said, "I want to call." She didn't get it all out at once. A little garbled. She actually got to the phone.
Yes.
I want to call my sister.
Yes.
She can come and pick me up. I live right near here. Ted and I both said, I think you said it first, and I repeated it. He said, "Well, we could drive you there."
Yeah. And
at this point, we were pretty satisfied. Nothing was going to happen, that we could put her in the car and we would get her home. So we said, "We can drive you there." Because she once again repeated somewhere in this that she's very afraid.
She came up to my side. And like you said, this time even quieter. So I'm thinking, is she in distress, still afraid of him, like hearing her? Is she trying to whisper to us, "Please just let me get in the car"? So
you actually said to her, "Is there anything else you want to tell us?"
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to tell us? Do you want to get in this car right now? Like, get in the back and I'll drive off.
She was saying no.
And now she's saying no. So I'm like, all right, look, get in the car and we can go. I'm basically trying to give her one last chance, right? This is while 911's been called, right? So we know they're on the way.
We knew they were almost there. In fact, we continued to talk to her. And then he and I had a little conversation. And then when we turned back, she had left.
Yes, exactly. I'm turning to the mayor. I'm like, look,
She turned back and she walked
It's
back.
time to go. The cops are coming.
And all of a sudden, the 911 operator said, the police are there,
Yes.
so I'll sign off now.
Yes.
And we said, well, thank you very much. We signed off. We could see the police car, maybe two, but we could see a police car. And very shortly thereafter, a New York State,
New Hampshire State
trooper came up and told us that it was under control, that I think an ambulance pulled up about right then. An ambulance pulled up.
Yeah, because it was a few minutes before they came to us. When they arrived on scene, they had to take care of whatever scene they were taking.
Actually, he came up to us. He talked to us. Yeah. He went back.
Yes.
He said, do you mind waiting? Are you very busy? Do you mind waiting so we can get a statement later? Because he wanted to take care of them first.
Yeah.
And we said, absolutely not. We'll just stay here.
Yeah.
And he went back, and then he came back. And when he came back, an ambulance had already arrived, which surprised us.
Right.
Because she had no injuries to speak of. I didn't see any injuries.
No?
No. Okay.
No visible, from our perspective, injuries.
And of course, we didn't see him. But whatever we did see, we didn't see injuries. We didn't see weapons. We didn't see the signs of a fight. Now, it was dark, so they might have all been there, but we didn't see it. So we were surprised when an ambulance pulled up, and then a fire truck pulled up. So we said immediately, why the ambulance officer? And he said, oh my gosh, that was a pretty bad beating. And we're scratching our head. Pretty bad beating. She looked perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe it occurred in that last
20 minutes, that 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. The last minute after.
And then he looked at us like we were surprised. He said, no, not her, him. She beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And we said, what? I thought he was joking around or something. I said, we didn't see any evidence of anything. He said, well, you didn't look under her fingernails. Was his skin, hair, and blood. I said, oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was
and she really beat him very badly. It's an emergency.
Yeah, they did stress that point multiple times. I remember that, how he had visible signs of injury. So,
which of course was a total shocker.
Total 180 of what we thought was happening.
And then we stayed a while longer, gave our official statements, gave him our identification.
Right.
I think we can say we took pictures with him once it was over.
Yeah, of course. A couple of the troopers, yes, they were
very fine young men.
They were a young woman, and they were very professional. They were very professional. They
handled it beautifully.
Right. They got permission from their supervisor to get the picture with the mayor, and you can't fault.
They did.
Members.
They said, we would like to get a picture, but we have to get permission from our supervisor. I said, absolutely. I would feel bad if I didn't have it.
Right. I mean, yeah, you can't fault law enforcement, right? Wanting a picture with Mayor Giuliani.
They don't have any support. Damn it.
Right.
I'm going to do pictures with them anytime.
Right.
So
that happens. They
come back. We spend a little time talking, even in general about the difficulties of policing and how things are, and we pull out. We pull away. Ted does. Ted goes up on the exit to turn around. So we'll go back in the other direction. We turn around. This all takes 4 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Turns around, and then he starts on the highway.
So now we're northbound on 93.
So now he's on the highway. We're going past the accident. Everybody's gone now except the cops. It appears to be. I think he's been taken off to the hospital.
Well, yeah, it's hard.
She may or may not still have been there. We don't know for sure.
But there was a lot of lights, though. There was
still a lot of equipment there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, as we're getting ready to relax, to go back 30 minutes to where we're staying, we got hit in the back, I would say, the hardest I've ever been hit in my whole life, including 2 accidents I was in when I was a child, playing football, whatever you want to talk about. Seemed like the car was going maximum speed, 70, 80 miles an hour, kind of spinned us a teeny bit. And in my case, I had the seatbelt on. And instead of getting a whiplash in my neck, I got a whiplash in my body. My body got thrown forward like in a second, and then thrown back. And I could feel the pain immediately in the middle of my body, not in my neck, not on my legs, all in
Thank
the
God.
middle of my body.
Thank God.
And I couldn't move. I mean, I basically couldn't move from the pain. The seatbelt was still on, and Ted, I looked as soon as I heard the accident, I looked over at Ted to see what he was doing about it, and he was trying to do something with the wheel, but I could see that he got thrown forward and back. But I think you were constricted somewhat by the steering wheel. So you had your seatbelt on, and the steering wheel constricted you. I had my seatbelt on, and I went all the way through. Now, I got terrible injuries, but I'd have been killed if I didn't have the seatbelt on. I'd have gone right through the window. So thank God I had the seatbelt on.
God, thank God, thank God. All I recall is, and we're coming up, and out of nowhere, and we're moving right at we're on the highway moving. We're not stopped, right? And it's just boom, just hit so hard. It happens like I've been told from others that have been in crashes, right, where it just happens out of the boom, just like that, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of the accident. So all of a sudden crash. What I recall is a lot of like dust. I don't want to call it dust, but just like, when two metal vehicles hit each other, a lot of stuff's kicked up. I remember the stuff being kicked up. It's probably concrete, dirt, the two cars hitting each other. I look over to the mayor. He's good. He's talking. Obviously, he's not good, but he's with us.
Calm.
You're calm too.
I imagine in some way, in a technical way, I was in a state of shock, but right. I didn't feel like I was.
Right.
I felt. I'm not going to say I felt more pain than I think maybe I've ever felt.
Yeah.
I felt more pain than I ever felt.
Your first two questions, Mayor, you asked, how are you, and where how's the other person? I don't remember the exact words you used. I look at you, I at least know you're talking to me, you're there. I look to my left. The other car is I believe in the median. I recall it being right there in the median on the grass.
Went over, I said go over and talk. You were taking care of me.
Well, I immediately asked. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, go find out how she's doing.
Right. And I look over and I immediately ask, who else is in that car? I see one woman, I think out of the car at that point, and that car is beat up. I ask, who else is in that car? She says, no one. I run up to her. I just want to make sure she's okay. She's got a little bit of some blood, but other than that, visibly, she is a little, she's obviously.
Was she big or little?
I would say little. I don't, not big. Definitely not big. I just recall her obviously being shooken up. I don't want to, she was shooken up. I go up to her. I just a visible quick check to make sure she's okay. She's obviously very distraught. She's very distraught.
I could hear crying, hysterical.
Yeah, yes. But she's.
I hear you talking to her, trying to calm her.
Yeah. So that happened. And to me, this happened so fast, and right within seconds, this again happened close to where we had stopped. Had stopped to handle what happened across the street, and they come running across. I go back to the mayor, just immediately checking.
To me, and I try to figure out if I can get out of the car, and I realize I can't, and wonder what the heck happened to inside of my stomach. I can't really move without enormous pain. So they say, we're going to have to call an ambulance. I, of course, say no. The last thing in the world I'd like to do is go to a hospital. But I said no rather meekly because I knew I had to go to a hospital. It's just required to say no. And
right.
I knew the minute I got hit, I knew I was headed to the hospital.
Right.
And they got a right away. They got another. Remember, they had just brought
there was an ambulance, I believe, a fire truck too. I'm not sure, but it's something.
And they got an ambulance for me. They were terrific. They were
so professional.
I ran EMS in New York and merged it with the police department. Had it retrained. Spent a lot of time with them. I know the good ones and the bad ones. number one, troopers number one, yep. Superior number one, and the what we call 911 or the emergency people, 911 were absolutely terrific. And they got me in they told me what hospital I was going to. And as I'm moving toward the car with them, right? Toward I guess did we first go toward a car or a truck? I thought I went past a truck. Maybe I'd be wrong about that. I think I went right to the ambulance, but it was more like a truck ambulance. It was a truck ambulance.
Yeah.
Right. You had to go up like that. At some point along the way, I hear Maria is here, and your kids. I don't know. Did you say it or did they say it? Caroline and Andrew. They have the names.
They were calling me. Yeah, they were all
calling you. They want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, this has got to be what 10 minutes after the accident, right?
Not even.
Okay. What was it, on the radio or something? I mean, how did
his iPhone had sent out alerts to a list of emergency contacts?
Can you imagine that?
Immediately after they must
iPhone,
have it detected the crash.
The iPhone went off for Maria, who was about 2 miles away. Had gotten home from the game.
Went off for me, actually.
Andrew, who was in Washington, D.C., and for Caroline, it was in Los Angeles, California. All three at the same time. So they immediately called her, and and they were wondering maybe this is a mistake. But when they all got it, they realized it was right. She got herself into a car. She drove over, and she was coming across the traffic, taking a risk with her life doing that.
Yeah.
Coming across the traffic, and was almost there. As the ambulance was pulling out, they told me she's here. I said, "Oh, wait. If we can't wait, we'll take care of her. We'll make sure she gets in." And then we took off for the
hospital.
For the hospital. And then we got there, and the rest is history.
And I mean, well, we'll have more on the rest of it, but
we'll have more at 8, so that we can let them know what happened. But I was diagnosed with obviously sores all over the body and aches all over the body, and all of which will resolve themselves in due time. But the only thing that would be permanent or serious is the fracture of right next to the spine, and that they took many tests, including ultimately an MRI, and that's it. It's limited to that. There's no further complication, and therefore, in a situation like that, it normally heals itself, which they're very confident it will do. A few more days of pain. I don't know how long this is. This is maybe a couple weeks.
You can't bend, lift. Is it no bending, no lifting, no twisting? BLT. So you got to look straight ahead, and if you want to look at me, you got to push the whole chair over.
He can remember everything the nurses said. They were very pretty.
Yeah, absolutely, and most importantly, they were just so professional. The entire staff at the hospital, the police officers, the state troopers, the first responders. I mean, thank God, thank the Lord. Prayers work.
And we hope that the young lady who hit us
is okay.
Who I'm sure it was an accident. This was not a. This was. There's nothing that leads me to believe this was on purpose in any way, or even gross negligence in any way.
There's no
I hope she's okay.
There's no reason to believe that she was connected to the incident across the street either, and that's important to say as well, because there have been some rumors out there.
Actually, we have no evidence about her other than she's 19 years old and she got injured.
We don't know, but we have no reason to believe.
The best thing for us to say is we don't know, but we really feel that the poor girl should do well. We hope she came out of it just fine.
Absolutely.
As far as the man who got beaten up and the one who beat him up, I hope somehow they resolve it also. She didn't look like a bad woman, and but who knows? One never knows.
I will say, and some of you might even be wondering this question too, right? I've had this question asked to me countless times the last couple of days, right? Why did you guys stop in the first place? Why did you stop in the first place? Do you see who I'm sitting next to right now? Do you see who I'm sitting next to right now? Do you really think that would have been an option?
Didn't I tell you when we were sitting, I couldn't live with myself if we didn't stop?
Absolutely. So
I was taught to do that.
I don't even know how, we did the right thing by stopping, and we also did the right thing by, pulling ahead and calling law enforcement, because it's also true that it's a very dangerous proposition nowadays to stop on the side. It's sad in our society, but it's dangerous to stop on the side of the road in the middle of the night.
Do what you think you can do and you can handle. And you don't think you can stop, then go off to the side if you're afraid of confronting and call up the police.
Right.
Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. I mean, if you see 3 people there and it's a tire they're fixing, fine. But don't ignore it.
Just another lesson I learned from the mayor this weekend. And unfortunately one that I'm sure, sounds cliche, but no good deed goes unpunished.
Oh, I don't believe that. I think that's an old, I don't think the fact that we were hit had anything to do with the good deed I think the thing that went with it was the president of the United States called me and told me that I would be given the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And that was actually the best medicine. I felt totally better after that.
Right. Oh, my
This
goodness.
is the
And what-
second time President Trump has cured me.
Right. Doctor.
He says that he cured me of COVID because he ordered the doctor as to what to prescribe.
So is it President Dr. Trump or Dr. President Trump?
I think President would come first. It's a bigger title. President Dr. Trump. I don't know if he treated anybody else, but I am one of his patients that he says he cured because he got me.
Oh, my goodness. So when
I've forgotten the medicine that he got for me. There was some medicine because I got COVID about 2 weeks after him, and he took over my treatment and ordered the doctors around. Now, by giving me the medicine of a Presidential Freedom Medal, all of a sudden my pains went away.
And man, I'm just, of course, one of the first people to check in, and what an honor. And of course, Mayor, all I've been thinking about is your health and
my
well-being.
My children were all over me. They're such beautiful kids. And they were so worried.
Right.
Andrew didn't have any information for about a half hour, 45 minutes. And I saw he said in the newspaper, he didn't say it to me because he didn't want to worry me. He just imagined the worst. And I'm going to tell you something. In a situation like that, you should never imagine the worst. You should imagine the best. I'm going to tell you why. Why buy off all that pain and suffering if it's not going to happen? Just imagine it's going to work out okay. If it doesn't, you'll have to deal with it. Well, we're going to take a short break.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll go on to a couple other stories. All right, good. And we'll see what we'll see.
No bending, twisting, and turning.
He'll be over here. If I bend over, everybody on the screen can start yelling so I can hear you. Okay.
BLT. No bending, lifting, or twisting. That's it.
Yeah. Am I allowed to breathe? And if you may see me standing up when you come back, because I'm supposed to stand up in the intervals. Right. Okay. We'll be right back.
With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. Too many pharmacies and insurance companies are blocking the medications that actually work. That's why I recommend All Family Pharmacy. They give you access to treatments like ivermectin now, starting at just $2 a capsule. They also have methylene blue, hydroxychloroquine, and so much more. They're helping you stay prepared, and they've dropped their prices by 25%. Also use promo code Lindell10, you save even more. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Use promo code Lindell10 and get the medicine you need. Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hard-working American pockets. Financial expert and LindellTV supporter Mark Lichtenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stalk extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally.
Welcome back to the Rudy Giuliani Show on LindellTV. You know, the president is coming up to what I call, it's a good way to review what's coming up in September, deadline months, right? So there's a deadline that possibly could be after September on the debt, where once again, you know, they put it off. Once again, they're going to have to reach a agreement on the debt ceiling so that the government is funded. This is the most absurd, ridiculous budgeting process that ever existed, but it exists. And Trump is determined to change it, but it hasn't been changed yet. Now, it's hard to keep track of because one of the things that it was supposed to be in August, pushed out to October, because we collected more revenue than we were anticipating when we were trying to figure out when we would run out of money. And that revenue is largely the revenue we collected from tariffs. And it was enough to extend the period of time that we theoretically run out of money. We don't really run out of money. We run out of the authorization to use money because then we might have to print more. Whether we're going to reach an agreement or not and how, you know, we always do that the last minute. So it's almost useless to start talking now about what the solutions are because they'll come up with something different. And I don't even think at this point it's anything but a beginning position. Also, you remember Judge Boasberg? He's the one who held up the immigration thing. He wanted to hold the president in contempt because he wanted the people, I think he wanted the people taken off, he wanted the murderers, rapists, animals taken off the boat, you know, and brought back to his house. I doubt it. He has taken over from what I thought was the worst chief judge in the history of America, who had been the chief judge of the District of Columbia when they persecuted the J6 people. She presided over the closest thing to Soviet-style trials that we've ever had in America. And if there was any fairness in this country, she would be disbarred and prosecuted for violation of civil rights. But these judges in the District of Columbia are a menace. They have no regard for the Constitution. They have no regard to fairness. And they have a hatred for Trump that is palpable. When I was sitting at trial with her, I could see the way she was looking at me. And every time Trump's name came up, I could feel this hatred in her eyes. She was just dying to put me in prison, Well, now she's been replaced by this creep and this federal judge, James Boasberg. Just in case you need any, I know when I do this, there are people, good people, even people on our side that probably think I'm exaggerating because I love Trump, or I'm exaggerating because I like the other people involved, or I believe they treated me unfairly, and they did. I I've been treated unfairly before. I don't go over the top on it. I go over the top on this one because I was treated unfairly in a way that was a material assistance to the destruction of my country and to the destruction of our criminal justice system. This man is a very, very disgraceful criminal that we're looking at here. When judges deliberately give unfair trials because of either their political position or their desire for preferment or accolades or whatever, they don't belong being a judge, they belong in jail. Well, what did he do? He had a case of a woman who is a woman who was arrested for threatening the life of President Trump. She told the FBI in 5 states that she's willing to sacrificially kill POTUS by disemboweling him and cutting out his trachea with Liz Cheney and all the affirmation present. In other words, for the benefit of the J6 people, the J6 people who he put in jail, many of them for no crimes at all, without bail, in a jail that was equivalent to considerably worse than the illegal migrants are put in. And they, of course, were accused of hysterical things like insurrection, originally 4 deaths that they caused, none of which they caused. They went ahead with the absurdity of a state funeral for a police officer who died of natural causes. But Nancy Pelosi needed some kind of symbolic, I think they needed a symbolic killing and a symbolic funeral to try to convince people that Trump was involved in an insurrection, when in fact, through Antifa, they orchestrated. Does Boasberg know it? I don't care if he knows it. He participated in one unfair trial after another. That woman there was arrested and charged with attempts to kill Donald Trump. She has a very strong history of schizophrenia and mental illness. He let her out of jail. Does that half-wit political scumbag know that Hinckley was mentally ill? The fact you're mentally ill doesn't mean you're not going to kill the president. In fact, I don't know how many of the people who killed presidents were mentally ill. But I know one because I handled that case, and that was Hinckley. This woman has gone to great lengths to try to kill Trump. I mean, how does he let her out of jail? Doesn't she have to be committed for a while? We look at her for 2 days and do like a little Rorschach test, and we say, oh, shit's fine. She goes around saying she wants to kill Trump, but she won't. I think it's more like he doesn't give a shit. Right? That's what I think. That's a very sick man you see there. Shouldn't be on the bench. He should be thrown off the bench for what he just did, particularly since he's already displayed tremendous animus, tremendous bias to Donald Trump. We want to talk about his tremendous bias to Donald Trump. Rosie O'Donnell is back in the news. Rosie, and this is, I only raise this as typical of what the people that oppose Trump do. And really as a cautionary tale, if you are, please re-examine yourself. As soon as the shooting took place at the Ascension Church, done by Westfeld, the male who was pretending to be a female, whose mother helped him change his name, and now he wanted to change it back. There's Rosie. Now, I don't know if that red nose is because she's a liar, or there's another reason why people get a red nose, but I'm not allowed to say that. But it could be that she's a liar. There's her red nose, Rosie the Red Nose Riveter, who said that it was a MAGA killer. He was a white supremacist who was engaged in a TikTok rant. Now, just to get an idea of the credibility of all the things Rosie says, this is a pretty important statement, correct? She based it on nothing but her wild, insane, and crazy prejudices, which is what she bases everything on. And why people pay attention to her, I don't know. She's obviously a sick woman, and she should do something about that nose. I have a suspicion what it's about, but I'm not allowed to say it, or I'm not going to say it. But if you're any kind of an experienced person, you know what that nose comes from, right? Come on. All right. The Ukraine, you never say the Ukraine. Sorry, Ukraine says that Russia has exaggerated its claims of the gains that it's made on the front lines in the pushing they're doing right now to get every inch of territory they can before they finally are forced, hopefully, to make a deal. Now they did expand their area that they have, but it really is insignificant amounts of territory that they have so far taken. And the most important and the most significant for the negotiations that are going to take place is that they've been unable to take the fortress that they want to take in Donetsk, which would give them the high ground and also the single most important defense for Ukraine, which means they would come out of this war, assuming they could settle it, very, very, very well poised to attack Ukraine very easily in the next war. We should not allow that to happen. There's no way, no reason that he should get that. And there's no reason that we have to accede to him. We're much stronger than he is. We have him in a very difficult position right now. His money is running out. His troops are running out. He's paying people. He's paying people to serve. Huge amounts of money that go to their families. And they know they're going to die. If you fight for the Russian army, there's a better chance you're going to die than live, because they throw you into battle like you're a prop. Because your human life means nothing to them. Whenever and wherever they're Russian Orthodox Christians, their war approach follows that of a communist, where life means nothing. Putin is throwing away lives as an indication of Putin's true worth as a human being, which is zero. He's throwing away lives without any care for how many he's losing, as long as he can get Ukraine back as part of Russia, so that Russia can continue their 1,000-year-old persecution of Ukraine. And I'm getting impatient with it, and I'm getting impatient with the toleration for him. The guy is a stone-cold killer. That's all he is. He's nothing more than that. I think there is a way to deal with him, and the way to deal with him is to punch him in the face so hard that he's going to have to wake up and say, I don't really want that to keep happening to me. The reality is that we're a much stronger economic power than he is. We're not even on the same wavelength. And we're a much stronger military power, except in one area, which is nuclear. So I do agree. We have to be careful, and we have to talk to him. The people who say, oh, you can't talk to him and Trump shouldn't talk to him are really, really wrong. You have to constantly be talking to him, because you constantly have to be gauging. Is he going to go off the deep end? My evaluation of him is that he's a rational, evil man. Both things are possible. You can be rational and evil. You can be irrational, like the Ayatollah, and evil. And then your possession of nuclear weapons is that much more dangerous. But he needs to be pressed hard. Sanctions, secondary sanctions, taking things away from him that he needs, giving Ukraine the ability to defend itself really effectively. So I think that if you go in that direction, this is possible to settle with an arrangement that will keep Ukraine safe. I almost have to say, however, given the politics in our country, for as long as Trump or a person like Trump is president. If they get Biden back, which they can't, obviously, Biden's gone off somewhere. I don't know, he's in some place, not the world right now. He hasn't been in the world really since about 2016. So I would say you could reach an agreement with Putin if the stakes were high enough for him. Right now, he's still working on trying to Trump. Not possible. But see what happens, okay? Well, all of this that's going on, including the tariffs, which the press and the rich people go crazy over all the time because it affects them, but it helps the middle class. Something must be right about the economy since the S&P is at very high record levels, and the market in general is at record levels. So these people think we're making and will make a lot of money, and they're not stupid people. Every time Biden hit a record, we had like a day off, but because nobody worked during the Biden administration. And how many vacation days did Biden have? No, maybe it's easier because it's hard when you have high numbers. How many days did he actually work? Do you know, Ted?
Am I supposed to guess?
Yeah, you can guess. It's okay. I'm not gonna take you under oath.
Let's say 50.
It's probably fewer than he took off, and I'm not exaggerating there. And if you count hours in a day, like, you know, if you
less
work
than
2
50
hours, if you work 2 hours in a day, did you really work the day?
No.
Stephen, what
How
do
many
you think
hours?
if I said, given his mental state?
Oh, that's the answer.
He had a few lucid moments. You had to give him that.
Tell us one. Name one.
He had a very, very hardworking
sure there's one.
auto pen. That auto pen, they had
That
to
auto
replace
pen,
it.
yeah.
That
We're not talking
auto
about the
pen
auto
worked
pen,
so hard, it had to be replaced 4 times. And there's a case against him for abuse of an auto pen because they didn't know what it was signing. And a couple of rapists got free, but
Sad for the Republic.
time for a break. Oh, no time for a break. Time for an ending. I bet you don't know what, I got to show them this. They got to see this. They haven't seen the whole thing. Help me take this off, Ted.
You want to take it off?
Yeah, I want to show it to them. My first
Don't watch your arms.
I'm
Right?
going to stand up.
You got it. You can't.
I'm going to show them. I'm going to do a superhero movie with this.
All right. No twisting.
We're going to, you and I'll be Batman and you'll be Ted. Or maybe we got to come up with another name. What will I be?
Robin.
Rudy Man and
Rudy
Ted.
Man and Ted Man. Good man.
The good man, yeah.
All right. You gonna stand up?
I'm going to try.
Can you move the camera? Oh, move the camera. And show our face then.
This doesn't matter. You know what? I just got a call from President Trump. He took back the Presidential Freedom Medal. He said, "You're too crazy. You're too crazy. I'm taking it back. You're embarrassing me." No, you can't embarrass my guy. You can't embarrass my guy, Trump, by fooling around. What a great sense of humor, huh? And what a great president. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've gone through many, many things in my life, good and bad, right? You know that, and including being given an honorary knighthood by the Queen of England and getting the highest award, the government of France and Germany, getting the Reagan Freedom Medal. Wow. You have no idea what that meant to me, my hero. Getting this, it took me a while to recover from this. Driving home, I got informed in a parking lot. We were coming back from the hospital. He had originally called me. When he originally called me, he said that, oh, I'm not going to tell you, but he said it was private. It was too cute, actually. It was really private. He's such a good guy. You know, when I was in the hospital for my emergency surgery back in 17 or 18, I don't remember, right before I started representing him, he called me almost every day. And he likes to give advice. And then he interferes with the doctor. And he's right. He's right. And I had to give him a very detailed description of what it was. I'm sure he checked it with somebody. And since I got a call back for the Presidential Freedom Medal, but not that I needed another doctor, I'm probably okay.
I'm sending it to him right now.
So you wonder what this thing is. This looks like oh, I've got to wrap up? Okay. Well, I don't have time to show you tomorrow night. I'll show you. If you use this correctly, I can fly out through the door and upstairs so I don't have to walk. This is almost like a reverse parachute. You turn it on here, and it lifts you up, and you go out the door. So we'll be back tomorrow night, and you check in at 8. I'm going to see if I can get it to operate at 8. You go to X, and you might see me flying around, okay? So God bless America.